शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये. Om. Dear friends, we are seeing the third chapter of the Gita, that is Karma Yoga, and we were reading the 13th shloka, that is Yajñasishtashinas Santaha Muchyante Sarvakilbishaihi. That is the people who perform the Panchamahayajñas, not only Panchamahayajna, I was explaining to you what are those Panchamahayajnas. That is, every Grihastha is supposed to give food to the guests, give food to the animals. He has to study his portion of the Veda. He has to worship the gods, and he is also study the scriptures, etc. All these things, they are the Panchamahayajnas. And a person who performs those duties, and then not only those duties but other duties also, and a person who eats in that way, he is supposed to be freed from all the sins, all the papas, sarva kilbishaihi. Sarva kilbisham is sarva papaihi. That is, we might have committed something knowingly and we might have committed certain things unknowingly. So, what are called sins of commission and sins of omission. From all those things, we get freed. Not only that, thus, a person is supposed to get, he is said to get chitta shuddhi. Chitta shuddhi means that antahkarana shuddhi, that purity of mind. When a person goes through that rigorous drill, a rigorous self-discipline, naturally it gives that purity of mind. And that purity of mind prepares him for the next level, that is called Jnana Prapti. That is the next class. That is something like preparing the mind initially, removing all the dirt which is there in the mind, so that certain good things can be filled into the mind. So it is like that. Then, Ye Pajantyatma Karana, we read that. And the next shloka is Annad Bhavanti Bhutani. Again, he is continuing about Yajna from another angle. Annad Bhavanti Bhutani Parjanyad Anna Sambhavaha Yajñad Bhavati Parjanyo Yajñah Karma Samudbhavaha. So here, Annat Bhavanti Bhutani, that is, he says, all the beings, they originate from what is called Annam. Annad Bhavanti Bhutani Parjanyad Anna Sambhavaha. This looks very, apparently, outwardly, it looks so natural and so normal. There is what is so great about it. That is, okay, from the clouds, food comes. From the clouds, Parjanya means Megha, that is from the clouds. When they rain, the food is grown. Then Yajñad Bhavati Parjanya. From that Yajna, from the Yajna only this Parjanya arises. Parjanya means the Megha. And Yajna is something which is based on our karma. So this is the outward meaning, this is the general sthula. Sthula means a gross meaning of this shloka. So here, Annad Bhavanti Bhutani, we have to know some little bit of background about what is the meaning of Annam. Annam, we all know that it is food. But Annam is, the etymological meaning of Annam is Adyate Atticha Bhutani Tasmad Annam Taduchyate. That is what Taittiriya Upanishad says. That is Adyate Atticha Bhutani. That is, you are eating Annam. You are also getting eaten by that. So that means the sweet or rasagulla which I am eating it, and that is also eating me. That is, in the process of digesting and all that, that is actually gradually bringing about decay in me also. And this Annam, what is this Annam? If we just recapitulate, I think some time ago I told you that from that Atma only, from what is that supreme reality called Brahma or Atma, the first manifestation was this Akasha. The first manifestation, Akasha, Akashad Vayuhu, and in that Akasha, some air emanated first or evolved first, and Vayuho Agnihi, that Vayu, in course of time it became Agni, and Agni, in course of time it became Agni Rapaha, when that probably all that molten condition, it got rather liquefied, and then it became liquid. And then after some time that liquid became solid. Agne Rapaha Adhyah Pruthivi. From those waters, Pruthivi. Pruthivi means that hard matter. Hard matter, it may be not only our Pruthivi, all the planets and what all hard, all these planets are all around the globe. Planets, stars, etc. Adhyah Pruthivi. Pruthiviya Oshadhayaha. And from this Pruthivi has become the source for all types of Oshadhi. Oshadhi means all types of plant kingdom. And that plant kingdom became the food. And from that food, all the beings have come. So this is how the Upanishads, they describe the evolution. So first of all, there was some Akasha, there was air became fire, and that fire became fluid, that is fluid means water, that fluid became solid, And from that solid, all this plant kingdom has come. Prithivya Oshadhaya, Oshadhibhyo Annam, all these Oshadhis, they became Annam. Annat Purusha. From that Annam, from that food, Purusha. Purusha means the living being. Purusha does not mean man only. Purusha means any living being. Puri Shete iti Purusha. That is the etymological meaning of that. That is an embodied being. Puri, this whole body is called Puram. Puram means a town. Normal meaning of a Puram is Hastinapur, some other Pur. Puram is town. Hastinapura is what this body is called a Puram. So this Puri Shete, in this body, that Atma dwells. So that is the reason why it is called Purusha. That Atma dwells in this body, in this Puram. So that is the reason why it is called Purusha. So Annat Purusha means Annam is something which is producing me. Annam is something which is my, I directly owe my entire body to whatever Annam is there. So that means, in fact, if we see the meaning of the word Deha, we know the word Deha. Deha means the body. The meaning of that word Deha is Diha Upachaye. Deha means every minute you are gathering and gathering and gathering. I just took some tea. After some time I will go home and I will take something else. I will eat something in the night. Again tomorrow I will eat. So whatever I am eating is something which was produced in the field by somebody, by some farmer. He has produced it in the field and it has come to some market. And whatever food I ate today, it is something a few days ago it was there in the market. Today it is in my stomach. And tomorrow again I need something more. So Diha Upachaye, every minute and minute by minute I am accumulating. Not only food, I am breathing, I am drinking water. Even this breathing is something which is ahara only. Whatever is taken in is called ahara. So all these things, annad bhavanti bhutani. So all the beings, they are not different from the annam. And the human body again, even when a person dies, we know that when a person dies, that becomes the food for various things. Not only that, not the vultures, etc. From that body itself, lot many maggots will come out. If you leave a dead body for a few days, from that dead body, some small flies will come out, maggots. From any food item, you keep rice in your storeroom. After some time, from rice, some insects resembling rice, the same almost as resembling rice, they come out of that. You leave any food product, things will come out. So annad bhavanti bhutani, which we can test it any time. Annad bhavanti bhutani. Then parjanyad anna sambhava. This parjanya is something, this rain. From that rain, food is produced. Here, of course, he is saying one thing which is yajnad bhavati parjanya. This yajna, all the good activities which are performed by the human beings, they are responsible for the parjanya. So, of course, here it is something which is a value which we have to believe. That is something, usually philosophy is there in the Gita. But here there is some point which is a particular value which we have to believe. That is, suppose there is a drought in a particular area. Then we have a natural tendency to say, oh, all around there is all sin has increased. So that is the reason why there is a drought. Then the next shloka is about, we are talking so much about this good karma, kamya karma, nishkama karma, etc., etc. Where is this karma stated? What is the origin? What is the source of this karma? So he is going to say that this karma is something which is there mentioned in the Vedas, and Veda is something which is not the creation of a human being. It is something which is the creation, which has come out in the tapas shakti of various sages. When they did tapas, their only desire was to know as to what are the fundamental truths of this nature. So that is what he is going to say in this shloka. That is 15th shloka. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahma akshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishthitam. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi. Vidhi means you know. You know that karma is something. Karma means we know that whatever Ishvara arpana buddhya karma. That is brahmodbhavam vidhi. Brahma, here the word Brahma also has 2-3 meanings depending on the context. Brahma also refers to Veda. Brahmodbhava means it is something which is mentioned in the Veda, mentioned in the scriptures. And that Brahma is something, that Brahma means that particular Veda. Where has it originated? Akshara Samudbhavam. Akshara means something which is imperishable. Akshara Samudbhavam is something which is an eternal law. Veda is a sort of eternal law because the rishis the rishis who were there sitting in tapas and rishis who had the vision of all these Vedas in their tapas, they did not have any agenda. They did not have any agenda to establish any religion or anything like that. Their purpose was only to know what are the basic laws of nature, what are the basic rules by which a man has to conduct himself, and how he has to conduct with reference to the fellow human beings, how he has to conduct himself with reference to nature. So these are the natural rules which they were thinking about. So that is that Akshara. Akshara means Avyakta. So for this Akshara, we can also take another meaning in the sense of God. The Vedas also say, this Veda, the Vedas, they originated as a sort of Nishvasa of the Creator. Nishvasa means exhalation. We know that there is inhalation and exhalation. Yasya Nishvasitam etad Rigvedaha. Yasya Nishvasitam. Nishvasitam means it is as though the Lord exhaled, and in this as a sort of exhalation, these things have come. That is, if we want to take that particular meaning. But even otherwise, even if you want to take a philosophical meaning, the meaning will be that the rishis who were doing tapas, and in their tapas they had vision of all these Vedas, and when they had this vision of these Vedas, they were contemplating on what are the eternal laws. So this eternal law is something which is there in the Vedas. Akshara means something which does not perish. Sharati iti ksharam. That is, sharati means that which decays. Akshara means that which does not decay, that which does not change, something which is a permanent, which is an eternal law. Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yagnye Pratishthitam. Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma. Sarvagatam means this Veda which is actually taking care of so many things, because it illumines, or rather it talks about various subjects, and it is somewhat like a store of knowledge. So that is some storehouse of knowledge. So Sarvagatam Brahma, that is the Vedas give certain universally acceptable principles. It is not something which is related to a particular group of people at a particular point of time. They are applicable to all places at all times, to all people at all places at all times. So that is the reason why it is called Sarvagatam Brahma. Nityam Yagnye Pratishthitam. So this particular Veda is something which is established by virtue of good activities, Yagnye Pratishthitam. So that Ishwararpana Buddhya Karma is something which is very, very essential, and that is something which is mentioned in the Veda. Veda is something which is not the concoction of a human being. It is actually a revelation which the rishis had got, and that revelation is revealing the eternal laws for mankind, and Yajna is the part of that eternal law. So that is what it means. That is Yajne Sarva Nityam Yajne Pratishthitam. And now he says, next shloka is 16th shloka. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati hayah aghayurindriyaramo mogham partha sajivati. Evam pravartitam chakram. He is talking about a chakram. Chakram is a wheel. What is this wheel? This wheel of interdependence, what we were talking about, that wheel of interdependence. The human being is not totally independent. The human being is dependent on the nature and natural forces. So, evam pravartitam chakram, the human being is dependent on the society. What he is taking from the society, he is supposed to give back to the society. So, he is also supposed to redeem himself from the three runas. I was talking about the Deva Runa, Rushi Runa and Pitru Runa. So all these things, a human being has to do so many duties in order to ensure his rights, in order to ensure his own rights. So evam pravartitam chakram, this sort of wheel of interdependence which has been set in motion. Evam pravartitam is which has been set into action, which has been set in motion. Evam pravartitam chakram na anuvartayati ihayah. Na anuvartayati means a person who does not follow. You are only taking from the samashti. You are somebody who is like acting like a thief, and he is only taking from the samashti, and he is not doing his duty back to the society. He is not repaying back to the society. Such a person is aghayuhu. Indriyaramaha. He is Krishna is rather he is using rather harsh words. Aghayuhu. Agha means papam, sin. Aghayu means whose life is totally sinful. Aghayu. Then Indriyaramaha. Indriyaramaha means Indriya means sense. Indriyaramaha means he is only indulging in his own sensual pleasures. What we do, well, that is the reason why we call them Asuraha. Devaha, Manushyaha, Asuraha. Asura, the meaning, etymological meaning of Asura is Asushu Ramante iti Asuraha. Asu means Indriya. Asushu Ramante. The people are only indulging in sensual pleasures. The happily drinking, dancing and merrymaking and then indulging in all types of sensual pleasures. That is what is Ravana. Ravana symbolizes that. Ravana, he is called Dashagriva. Dashagriva. Griva means head. What is that? Neck rather. 10 necks means 10, he is swallowing 10 types of, from all the Indriyas, he is swallowing all the sensual pleasures. The 5 sense organs and 5 motor organs, with the help of all these things, he is swallowing. So, Ravana represents that mind which is swallowing all the sense impressions from all the sense organs. So, that is the symbolism of Ravana. So, anyway, here Aghayuhu Indriyaramaha. Indriyaihi Aramanam Yasya. Commentary says the person who is totally reveling in sensual pleasures. And the technical word for such a person is Asura. We call them Devas and Asuras. Deva means the divine beings, that is the people who are pure, who are having some purity in their action. And Asuraha basically who are not bothered about the society, who are only indulging in their own sensual pleasures. Asuraha. So, Aghayur Indriyaramaha Mogham Partha Sajivati. Hey Partha, O Arjuna, Saha Mogham Jivati. He is living totally wastefully. His life is a waste. Or rather, he is only a burden to the society. He is only a burden to the mankind. So, Mogham Partha Sajivati. Mogham means totally in vain. His life has no purpose. There is absolutely no purpose. That is Mogham Partha Sajivati. Aghayur Indriyaramo Mogham Partha Sajivati. Then, now we say, now he is switching over to the Jnani. All the while he has been talking about the Karma Yogi, a person who is supposed to do activity or karma in tune with the cosmic law, that is Ishwararpana Buddhya Karma. An ordinary man, he is supposed to do karma with that frame of mind. Then what about a Jnani? He is now talking about a Jnani. Jnani, what is the meaning of a Jnani? Jnani means, in English we call it a realized person. What is it that he has realized? He has realized that he is not this simple body-mind complex. He is that supreme reality. He is not different from that supreme reality. And he is a person. Of course, we are going to see the description of that person. We have already seen in 2nd chapter the description of a Jnani. That is Sthita Prajna. That Sthita Prajna description is the same, Jnani. And his frame of mind is that he is identifying himself with that supreme reality. And he does not see any sort of duality. He does not see any enemy. He sees everything as a manifestation of that Brahman only. He does not see the other person as so and so, X, Y, Z, etc. He sees what all he sees, animate and inanimate. He sees everything as that Brahman only. So, a person of that type, does he have any action? When does this action arise? Any type of activity arises only when I feel that I am a limited person. I am supposed to be so and so, and I am on a rather spiritual path, and I want to purify my mind. So, in order to purify my mind, I have to do something which is useful to others, something which is useful to the society, and I have to do it in such a way that I don't seek the fruit of that action, whatever punyam, etc. I don't seek. So, that arises in the case of a person who is having that notion of you, I, etc. But a Jnani is a person who has risen above that. A Jnani is a person who has risen above all these things. He has done the Shravanam, Vedanta Vakyartha Shravanam. That is, Shravanam means, Shravana, the word Shravanam means listening. Listening what? Listening to the words of Vedanta. And Vedanta tells about the entire process of, say that inquiry. Vedanta basically is an inquiry into the nature of self, an inquiry into what exactly is this gross body, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha. It differentiates. There is so much of analysis and differentiation in that. And with all that analysis, it says that, oh, you are not different from that supreme reality. And a person, he is supposed to realize it means he is supposed to feel it also. Not only at an intellectual level. Suppose I am saying, okay, I may be teaching Vedanta. I may be teaching Vedanta, but by the time I go out of this room, I may be living in a world of duality. I may be angry with somebody. I may be desiring something. So that is at an intellectual level I may be knowing, but I am not feeling it. But if I am a really realized person, I will also be feeling it. Real Jnani, some Swamijis, of course, we do find some eminent people, maybe people like Ramana Maharshi. Even now, of course, there may be several people like that. So, a Jnani can be known only by his behavior. A Jnani cannot be known by his knowledge. Anybody can speak, anybody can give lectures. But a Jnani can be known only by how he lives, how he behaves with others. So, we will continue tomorrow. This next shloka, that is 17th shloka, we will continue tomorrow. Harihi Om Tat Sat.